What's going on, team? Welcome to tonight's isolation session for June 26, 2025. My bad for the minute late start. I was trying to figure out why. Are you signed in? Just gonna give everybody a few more minutes to join, and then we will get started. We'll start at the 5 minute mark, so in 1 minute we'll start the 5 minute mark on the stream. Open up the wrong page again. Alright, sorry about that, guys. Hold on. No, but I changed my. Alright, guys, let's get started. Hey, brother, I've been away like forever. It's all good, Albert. Welcome back. Glad to have you here as always, my brother. You've been looking at the charts, or you've just been kind of took a step back for a little bit? Car problems giving a beating. Yeah, that's never fun. I get you. Hope you got everything figured out though already, my brother. We need you back. It's been boring. It's been boring without you, Albert. Come back, please. Everybody's gone. Mike hasn't hit me up in 2 months. Kendall isn't here. Everybody's gone, man. I've been trading lonely for 2 months, man. I need somebody. This is boring. I've taken a step back for a while. It's all good, man. I'll be here when you're back, when you're ready to get back on the charts. You know, whenever you got everything situated, you know, I'll be here, so it's no problem. Whenever you're back and ready to get back, just let me know, man. Truthfully speaking, too, the charts haven't even been that clean. This week has been pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. Took 2 trades this week. Um, the Bitcoin trade and the EU trade, so wasn't a bad week. And you know, last night was pretty good too. I was looking at the charts. I was on them all night. I was like kind of back on the charts all day again. And yeah, last night was pretty good too. I'm not gonna lie. I saw some moves that I was like, wow. You know, I didn't take no trades. I was just doing my back testing live on the charts. You know, looking at market structure, the engulfing candles. You know, specifically this one, right? Like GJ was one that I was looking at. There was a 30-minute and a 15-minute engulfing. But the zones that we were trading in, right? Like, it's just a pullback. And this is what I always talk about, right? We'll start the stream with this, right? Like, oh, what is this guy talking about? Well, let's take a step back, right? So STP for the day on GJ, I don't believe it was 105. I think that was yesterday's STP. And then today's STP. Well, let's do it with today's STP, right? Just so we could have a better gauge of what we were looking at. either way, STP wasn't hit today. Okay, so 93 was STP, or is STP for at least today's session, right? So let's at least change this. So remember what I always talk about. Oh, what's good? Albert said, hope you're doing well. I'm doing good, my brother. I can't complain. My bad. Let me have the Discord messages up too. Give me 1 second. Inferno, he said. Okay, Inferno said he can't access the stream for some reason. I think it's his DNS settings. Yeah, Albert, no, I'm doing good, my brother. I can't complain. I've been chilling. I can't lie. It's been a pretty good week. I've been waking up, at the new house that we finally moved into. Got everything situated already. Still have a few things I gotta get for the room, but for now, everything's good. Bought a fishing rod. I have a lake behind the house. Been fishing every morning. Like, I'll wake up, do the regular check down at 5:30 a.m. If I see something, I'll stay inside. If I don't see anything, bro, I'll go out 6 a.m. and just fish for like an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. I'll come back, look at the charts, turn the stream on. I've been doing that pretty much all week, so, and that's pretty much what I'm, after the isolation sessions, after these sessions are done, I go back out. The sun goes down at around 8 p.m., 8:30. It's been going down pretty late here in Florida, so it gives me another hour, hour and a half to go out, decompress, go fish, come back, take a shower, go to sleep, and then wake up for the trading session again. So it's been pretty good, man. I can't complain. But yeah, so to give out the examples for GJ, like, everybody's always asking me, why do I not trade counter trend, right? And it's not that you can't do it, right? Is that there's a method to how we trade here in our group, right? And we have the tools that we use, right? When you see my screen, I don't really have any indicators. The only indicator I have, quote unquote, if you want to call it an indicator, is the EMAs. This is the only indicators you see on my screen. Outside of the indicators, right, if you want to call the ADR, right, the average daily range, if you want to call that the indicator, that's the only two indicators that we have plugged into the chart. Outside of everything else, it's just market structure. All these drawings that you see, the squares, like, is not fair value gaps and all the order blocks and the bullshit that people be fucking talking about on social media, SMCs and the RSRC and the CRVs. You know what I'm talking about? And the GS3s. I don't know about none of that. I'm fucking, that shit is dead. Right? That's for the fish. I'll let you guys handle that. I look at market structure. Higher highs, higher lows, lower lows, and lower highs. That's it. Daily highs, 4-hour highs, 30-minute highs, and then the 30-minute lows, 4-hour lows, daily lows. Higher highs and higher lows. Are we going counter trend or with the trend? Right? With that being said, right, there's so many rules to this trading game that people just overlook because they want to simplify trading. When in reality, you can't simplify a surgery. You can't simplify anything that has to be surgical. Right? Yeah, you can have, again, indicators, right, in this case, that'll make it a little bit easier, right? Make you see things a little bit easier. But at the end of the day, it's market structure that really plays out. With that being said, right, the first question you have to ask yourself as a trader is, okay, how far back is a pullback going to be? Meaning, let's use GJ as an example. You take a trade, higher high, higher low, boom. You want to take a trade from a higher high going into a higher low. It's all good. That's called trading counter trend. That's called trading a pullback, right? A higher low, when price goes from higher high to higher low, that's called a pullback. If you guys don't know the terminology of trading, please write that down. It's very important to understand the terminology when you're trading. Understand what it is that you're trading. So then when you're entering a trade, you don't have to second guess yourself, right? So first thing is first, a pullback. How far is a pullback going to be? Now, if you're a trader looking at just market structure, there's a lot of traders who keep it simple, right? They're like, okay, boom, this was the break, and this is what you see online all the time. You always see just, and we'll draw it out, higher high, higher low. Boom, you're looking for a break. Higher high, higher low, higher high, right? How many times do you see this being drawn out online? Every single time. And there's a reason for that. This pullback is just what looks clean when you're drawing it out on paper. But when you're looking at it at the charts, that's not always going to happen. Because if that's the case, then that means we would have just been looking for a pullback in this area. Well, that's a pretty bad square, but we'll use the line, right? That means that we were just looking for a pullback or retest and continue, but that's not always the case. Can that happen? Yes. Now, this is where The Fib traders, the Fibonacci traders, right? The people who use the 23.6, the 38.2, the 50% retracement on the Fib, right? These traders understand each Fib retracement is a point of interest to where price is going to pull back to then continue the uptrend, right? They use the 50% retracement, which is the golden ratio, the golden zone for traders, which again, a higher high, a higher low. They're looking for that higher low, that pullback to be in the 50% retracement, and that's where they'll start taking their long positions to go from the higher low, right? To go from the higher low to go back into a higher high, right? With that being said, if you use your Fib in this, then you get a 50% retracement, a picture perfect 50% retracement. So now, understanding this lets you, the trader, it allows you to get into a trade, but you have to babysit it. Because if price just wants to pull back to the 23.6 and then go back up the way that it did here, if you entered here and you didn't cash out here, your price went to stop loss. It tapped you out. Look at how this is reacting. This is why I don't trade counter trend, because it's not worth it. Think about it. If I were to take a trade here, let's say from the higher high going into higher low, and again, this higher low that price gave us, let's add the Fib once again so you guys can see, like, we could use numbers and everything, whatever you guys want to do, right? This is the higher high over here. This is the highest candle in this structure before the pullback, right? I hope you guys, let me know if you guys need me to break this down a little bit better for you guys, but I hope this is making sense. If you were to take this trade here, which was a beautiful trade at the market open, right? A beautiful pullback retracement. You got into the trade, you were in a little bit of drawdown, right? You were in 8 pip drawdown, cool, no problem. Price went to TP and it hit the 23.6 retracement, right? Let's say you held it to the 50 EMA, because that's another, again, an indicator that just gives you a little bit more clarity as to where you could take profit at, right? If you held it to the 50 EMA, cool. You got a 30 pip TP, you had a 14 pip stop loss, perfect. If you held this trade thinking that price was going to pull back down to the golden ratio zone, price pulled back up and hit your stop loss, and now you're out of the trade. You had to babysit this trade from 6 p.m. all the way till 9:30. If you're comfortable with doing that, then cool. Me personally, I don't like to babysit trades. And this is the whole point I'm trying to make. I personally did not want to start trading, right? I did not want to quit my 9-to-5 job, a 8-hour shift, to come home and be on my computer for 8 hours. That's not, like, what are we talking about here? The whole point of, for me, at least, my story of trading, why I want to do it, is for not only financial freedom, fuck that, I don't care about money. I want my time to be able to wake up and do whatever the fuck I want to do on a day-to-day basis. That's what I wanted to do. That's my goal. That was the goal when I first started trading, and that is still the goal, right? With that being said, when I take a trade, I look at the STP, I look at the ADR. When I take a trade, I'm not trying to catch 20 pips. I'm trading GJ, I'm trying to catch 93 pips. Meaning, let's say in a perfect scenario, if we take this trade going short, let's say we took this trade here, right? And let's say that this was with the trend, whatever. Let's say, again, perfect scenario, right? We take this trade. This is exactly what every single trade looks like on my portfolio. Again, we could go back. It's all here on the charts, right? This is a picture perfect trade that I will take 100% of the time every single day. I know that I could take a trade, place my stop loss, put my TP, and it'll hit 100% of the time every single time. Will it do that if I'm trading counter trend? No. And this is the example. This is the example. If we would have taken this trade and held for STP, we wouldn't have been able to take profit. It missed our TP by what? 2 pips? 3 pips? And then it reversed and went straight to stop or break even at this point. So this is the reason why I do not trade counter trend, right? You don't know where the pullback is going to be. Again, yes, you have points of interest, but having points of interest just means that you have to sit there on the charts and looking at every single candlestick that prints up until price goes to your point of interest. Then you have to wait for price to start printing in your point of interest to allow you to know whether or not price is going to reverse or if price is going to continue to go down. And that's very simple, right? We could use this time to do exactly that. At these lows, what do? Boom, you go to the lower time frame. This is GJ, it's a really big pair, so I'll go down to the 1 minute, the 5 minute time frame. And what am I looking at these lows? Well, if price starts printing exhaustion candles, if price starts making higher highs and higher lows, if price prints a bullish engulfing candle at the higher low, then we know price is going to go up. So let's see if any of that happened. Let's start from the 30-minute time frame, because that's the time frame that we're entering trades at and looking for our exits when we're looking for the points of interest. So the first thing was the 50 EMA. Cool, no problem. That was on the 30, but there was no engulfing or exhaustion candles. There was no engulfing candles, nothing. There was just a 50 EMA pullback. Perfect. You go down to the lower time frame, 15 minute. Do you have exhaustion candles? Do you have exhaustion candles, or do you have engulfing candles? You have neither. Perfect, no problem. Go down to the lower time frame. Again, GJ is a really big pair. It moves fast. You're going to see a lot of these moves on the lower time frame. The higher time frame is good for market structure to look for your entries, your pinpoint entries, your points of interest. The lower time frame is good to see how the candlesticks are moving. Remember that candlesticks is just another language. Going down to the lower time frame, you're speaking the candlestick language. If you don't know the language, you won't be able to read it, right? That's why candlestick analysis is a thing. And again, that's something that a lot of people overlook. Again, you go on Twitter and you see everybody talking about SMC and Gary the Snail, but you don't hear about candlestick analysis. You don't hear about market structure. All you hear about is fucking made-believe order blocks and order fills and fair value gaps and SMC and Lamborghinis. Like, that's all you guys see. I don't get it. I really don't understand. But it's all good, man. I'll let you guys dream. I'll let you guys believe, because that's the motivation that you guys want to have. That's all good. Yeah, I'm not here to preach. I do that a lot. But again, motivation is something that you have for a moment. Discipline is something that you have forever. So again, if Lamborghinis and Ferraris is something you want to see to motivate you and wake up every single day and see a Lamborghini, then cool, use that as motivation. But once that motivation dies down, that it will die down, because again, the motivation you had January 1st to go to the gym, how many of you guys are still in the gym now? Because you have no discipline. None of you are in the gym because none of you guys have discipline. I know that for a fact. There might be a handful of you, maybe, right? 2, 3 of you that might still be in the gym. Right? How many of you guys said you wanted to start trading January 1st? June 26th, how many of you guys are still trading? A handful of you guys, maybe 2, 3 of you guys are still trading. But 99% of you guys are probably not even trading. And that's okay. That just really goes to show, again, what is motivation compared to what's discipline. Motivation does not take you nowhere. Motivation is fake. That's a propaganda shit that they give you on social media, so you don't create discipline, because the motivation, the dopamine in your brain feels better than the days when you have no dopamine and you still have to wake up at 5:30 in the morning to look at the charts, but that shit is mad boring, so you decide to go back to sleep because you'd rather sleep than make money. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Take your beauty sleep, man. You gotta look good for the photo shoot the next day, right? You gotta look good to take the photos for your IDs to clock into work. I get it. Like, I understand, right? But that's the mentality that a lot of you guys have. And it's okay to have that mentality. Just understand that that's the reason why this shit is taking longer than it has to. And I'm not only talking about trading, I'm talking about life in general. A lot of people are trying to look for answers and questioning everything. No, it starts with you. If you're not disciplined, you're not going to get anything. It doesn't matter how much you pray. It doesn't matter how much you're on your knees. It doesn't matter how much you ask other people around you. Like, it's not, nobody's going to come knocking on your door like, here's a free 100K account and start trading, and I'll trade it for you too, actually. Just go to sleep. Nobody's going to do that. Now, if you find somebody that's going to, if you have somebody that knocks on your door and tells you like, hey, here's a free 100K account and I'm going to trade it for you and I'm going to 100x that account in 2 hours, yo, and I could sleep while he does that work, and he's going to give me 100% split on the profits that he made, yo, please give me his contact, because I would love to speak to him, because I would love to just sleep all day. Please let me know what his contact is. Now, if he never shows up, then, you know, it's all good. I'm still disciplined. I still got to do what I got to do. But I'll wait for you to give me his contact. But again, with all of that being said, when you go down to the 5-minute time frame, now you start seeing what? You start seeing exhaustion candles. Cool. At this point, what do you start doing? You start looking at the candlesticks. What is price doing? Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher. That's it. Like, what else are we looking at? 1 minute time frame. Want to go down to a lower time frame? Cool. You want to see more candlesticks, you want to see more exhaustion candles, you want to see structure a little bit better, that's perfect. right? Not only that, on the 1 minute time frame, on top of the exhaustion candles that we were printing here on the 5 minute and the 1 minute time frame, right? What did price give us? It gave us engulfing candles. Sorry, I'm getting exhaustion, engulfing, right? It's tongue twisters. We got engulfing candles, and price went straight into profit back to the top side. So again, this is the reason I don't trade counter trend. This is the reason I don't trade the pullbacks. I don't care about catching higher highs going into the higher low. I want to catch the trades from the higher low going into the higher highs, and understanding high probability, low probability. Like we could go in. This is the reason why E used to do these sessions, and it used to take him 2, 3, 4 hours to do them, because he used to break this down every single night on every single pair. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna be honest, and I've said that from the start 3 years ago when he told me, yo, you're gonna start doing the sessions. That was the first thing, and he used to call me Speedy Gonzalez. If the OGs know that that was my nickname in the Discord, right? Donovan, I know Donovan hasn't traded this year, but if he was here, he would tell you guys, right? Stephen Melly would tell you too. A whole bunch of these people, JD, Alex, all these people would tell you, yo, yeah, this guy was Speedy Gonzalez. He used to do the session, he used to take him 3 hours. As soon as this dude started doing it, fucking took him 20 minutes, right? But this is the thing, it just took us 20 minutes to do one pair, and we haven't even done the breakdown. It was just me explaining something. It took us 20 minutes to do this. So again, we'll start from the top, right? Because we didn't even start in order. I was in GJ. I haven't even started yet, right? The pairs that we're gonna be going over are the ones that are gonna have the red flag next to their name. Starting off with AUD USD and finishing off with US oil. We will be going over AU, ACAD, EA, ECAD, EU, GA, GCAD, GJ, GU, NZD USD, US 30, USD CAD, USD ZAR, gold, Bitcoin, and oil. Those are gonna be the pairs that I look at. We're going to do the breakdown. Those are the pairs that I trade during the NYC session. So we'll start off with that. So again, any questions for the people watching? Any specific pairs you guys want me to go over? Again, we're going to be going in order. So if it's a pair that's not on the list, we'll do it at the end. If it's a pair that's on our list, we'll get to it. Again, we're going to go in order from the top to the bottom. But real quick in the chat, let me open up Discord too. Any questions in Discord? Any questions on the YouTube chat? Let me know before we get started on our pairs. Since we did that full breakdown on GJ, again, every single pair is traded the exact same way. We look at the exact same thing. The only difference is that some trades are uptrending and some trades are downtrending. That's the only difference. So, and also it's Thursday. Let's not forget tomorrow's trading session Friday. I usually don't trade Fridays, but this week's market session has been pretty well. It's been pretty good, these sessions. So I will be waking up tomorrow. I will be trading. I will turn on the live stream if there's pairs in the morning left. If I see something, I'll turn the stream on. We'll do our session as normal. If I don't see anything, then again, as usual, we don't really trade Fridays. So today's session, Thursday sessions here on YouTube, I usually just go to the 30-minute time frame. We just look for continuations. If we see something, then we'll talk about it. If not, then we'll just skip over and we'll go on to the next one. So honestly, this next part of the session shouldn't take longer than 15 minutes. So especially if you guys don't have any questions, we'll just go straight to what we got to do. So again, I'm just going to the 30-minute time frame. I'm not doing any crazy breakdowns today. We're just going to update the 30-minute time frame. The 4-hour highs and 4-hour lows, the daily highs, daily lows, we will have to update some of them. Like for example, here on AU. And again, everything is color coordinated. The 4-hour highs, the 4-hour lows, the daily highs, the daily lows, the 30-minute highs, 30-minute lows. Everything is color coordinated. So the 30-minute highs and lows are red, the 4-hour highs and lows are blue, and the daily highs and lows are gray, if I could find one, right? So, and then obviously everything else has the label, the 30-minute gaps, or the gaps on the market is this purple line, and then, you know, the drawings. Obviously, you guys know the drawings. So, the only thing I'm gonna update again, like I said, is gonna be the 30-minute highs and lows. So for example, here on AU, we still have higher high, higher low. We broke the high, boom, created another higher high. So now we're trading higher high over here and higher low down there. And again, this is a pair that's moving counter trend. I am still looking for AU to go up, right, to fill that gap that we had that I showed you guys at the top of the market over here. But these pushes to the top side are counter trend. This is a pair that's in A2. A2 is a second zone of consolidation. Price gave us the break of the zone of consolidation to the downside, right? Gave us a lower low, and now we're looking for that lower high. And again, we could see that on the daily time frame, so you guys can see exactly what it is that I'm talking about, right? We had lower low, lower high, lower low, equal highs, right? We say these are equal highs, and then price consolidated for a little bit, which is A2, again the second zone of consolidation, and then price gave us the break. The break happened down here. This is where the lower low is at. And now we're looking for the lower high. And again, the lower high is just points of interest, right? The first point of interest was a 23.6 retracement. The second point of interest is 38.2. The third point of interest was the 50% retracement. The fourth point of interest is the 800 EMA, which is what we're about to reach, right? And again, what's the point of interest? Is just where that lower high is going to be set. Understanding that we have this gap on the top of the market is another confirmation as to why price is not going to just give us a 23 or a 38.2 retracement, right? That's why I'm expecting a steeper pullback, and I'm not going to be trading AU until we either reject these highs on the 800 EMA, exactly what we have drawn out here, or until price gives me that gap closure and then we start downtrending. And this is where I'll start looking to take trades again, off the lower highs going back into the lower lows. So it's just all about being patient, guys. There's a method to all of this, right? Even though at first I know you guys be like, yo, this shit is Chinese. But again, we just went over the reasons why I don't trade counter trend on GJ. So if you guys didn't watch that, make sure you guys go back and watch it. ACAD. Okay, ACAD is still in the zone of consolidation, no breaks. That's why these lower lows and lower highs were not good. Then this is pretty much the same thing. We have higher high, higher low, and higher high. This is looking very identical to AU, moving counter trends, so we'll skip over that. EA gave us a day of drop, went down today, still trading between the previous higher high and higher low, and price here is just kind of consolidating, right? Where price was rejecting lows, went back highs, right? Came up to these highs, came back down to these lows, right? So right now for EA, again, we know that this is a pair that isn't an uptrend, but we're trading at the higher highs, and we have this gap at the bottom. So again, for EA, I would like to get a pullback before we get a continuation, but we'll see what price does. These highs up here were pretty much the highs that I wanted to see price break. And as we can see, price came to these highs and just induced them, tested these highs, and then came back down. Right, and I'm going to change this color to purple just because I know that's the lower time frame breaks. Right, so again, we wanted to see price break these highs. We didn't get the break, so it's all good. We got to wait for price to do what it has to do. If it just gives us another higher low point, then we'll take that trade, go back up. But at this point, I am expecting price to just continue that downtrend push for now, and then we'll get back to it when we start uptrending again. ECAD, right, we're trading at a higher high again. This is level 2, that second push to the top side. Did we get a valid break of these highs? Test, came back down. We wanted to see a candle closure above here. Perfect. We got the candle closure above. We got the higher high, and we're looking for the higher low. So ECAD is one that's looking good. Only thing, again, that I don't like about ECAD is the fact that we have this gap at the bottom. At this point, do I think price is going to give me such a steep pullback again back down here to continue? Not really, right? Unless we get a daily time frame, unless we get a daily time frame type 3 pattern, maybe. Do I think that's going to happen? Fucking probably not. I really don't think we're going to get this deep of a pullback on ECAD. So I don't believe we'll get a daily time frame type 3 pattern. I think we're just going to leave this gap here. We're going to continue this uptrend push. We'll complete the uptrend cycle, right? We have push 1, first zone of consolidation. Push 2, could we argue and say that this is a small zone of consolidation here, and then this is push number 3? We can, just based off the fact that we are at the previous peak highs already as well. So ECAD is just in a weird situation, right? Like, we'll talk about this more in detail in the weekly market breakdown, because this is definitely a good pair to keep an eye on. And we'll do that breakdown on the weekly market breakdown. We'll do this on Sunday for sure. This is going to be a good pair to talk about for this week. Just based on where we're at, peak high territory, we already know peak high territory, I'm not really trading it. Again, we'll keep it updated, but at this point, it's the question of whether or not we're going to start looking for shorts, or if price wants to continue to give us a steeper pushback to the top side. Just a little continuation, right? And we have a very large higher high, higher low, higher high. The price has trended up to the top side this entire week. So ECAD, pretty good. ECAD is pretty good. We'll keep an eye on this for next week. EU, a lot of these pairs are just sitting in their higher highs, man. We're not going to be able to take any of these trades. A lot of these pairs, I'm just going to have to come back tomorrow morning, see what's left, see what's doing what, and then we'll go on from there. But at this point, we've been consolidating for 4 days on GA. GCAD, we're doing the same thing as the other pairs, is sitting at a higher high. You know, it's not the ideal spots to take trades in. So, GJ, you see how my daily highs and 4-hour highs just make this a lot easier to know exactly where we're at, what we're looking for. Got another no net here. Sitting at the higher highs. At the higher highs, we just consolidated. So, again, the only place I'll start looking to take trades again on GJ, if price breaks these highs, then we'll continue. If price gives us an inducement of the highs, then we'll go back short for sure, going back down to the bottom. Just give us a steeper pullback. GU, again, we're trading at the higher highs. We just created another higher high on the 30-minute time frame. Right, we have higher high, higher low, and then these higher highs up here. So again, GU is another one where right now, again, I don't trade highs. We're at a higher high. What are we looking for? We're looking for a higher low. We're not looking for higher high, higher high, higher high, higher high, higher high, higher. We're looking for higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, right? So, NU, we're at the top of the 4-hour time frame highs. Again, price is moving counter trend to the top side. I'm looking for price to fill this gap here and then go down. Very similar to AU. Very similar to what we're looking for AU, but we're looking for this on NU. Right, NU gave us the pullback. Literally, the exact same shit that I'm looking for on AU is the exact same thing I'm looking for on NU. Only difference is that NU is already very close to the gap, AU's not. Right, so NU is looking good. I'll have to wait for price to, again, give us that set lower high. Once price gives us that set lower high, I'll start taking those trades back down to the bottom. NU is looking good, is getting close. US 30 gave us a nice push to the top side, exactly what we talked about in yesterday's session, right? A little type 1 pattern, multi-session type 1 pattern. You know, this is just really unfortunate that the entries that I wanted to give, and again, I was on the charts all last night. You guys could, well, I was on WAP, so you guys won't be able to see it if you're not part of the membership. But my drawings are still here. I was doing this live, and I'm like, wow, like, number one, US 30, I'm not trading this during Asia session. There's no fucking way. That's just number one, right? And number two, again, market structure was beautiful. Gave us a change of character, gave us a break of structure, gave us a retest. Beautiful entries, straight to the top side, straight to profit. I mean, fuck, man, if we would have held this shit, if I would have taken that trade last night, I would have just said, fuck it. We would have been golden. But again, that's not part of my plan, right? My plan is concrete rules, and I'm not going to be breaking my rules for nothing, right? Even if you were trading like, you know, again, this is the reason why also market structure is king. Like I can't even begin to really tell you guys like how much that's really, really important. Like understanding when to wait, when to get out. Like, man, if you traded pre-NY, you got fucking faked out of this beautiful engulfing candle. You thought price was gonna give you a beautiful entry, you got stopped out with that one wick at 8:30. And that's why you always wait for the 8:30 candle to print before you take a trade. Or if you take a trade before 8:30, you need to make sure that you're taking a pristine entry. Meaning you want to make sure that you're taking a trade literally at a higher low to go into a higher high. Because if you take a trade in the middle of the trend when the trend was already created, obviously you know that what is the market makers going to do? You think the market makers are just going to make everybody a millionaire? Hell no. They have to collect their contracts. So they gave you the inducement, boom, they collected the contract, they swept everybody out of their trades here who were trading pre-NYC, and then went up straight to profit. They collected their millions and then went straight into profit. So US 30 is looking good too, man. We're trading at a higher high again though, so that's one thing that I'm not really, you know, I'm not fond of. Right, USD CAD still trading counter trend, which is good because I'm looking for USDZR to do the same thing and fill this gap down here, so then we could finally start looking for these pushes back to the top side, man. And again, the reason why I'm looking for that is because overall, market makers pattern, we're in an uptrend on USDZR, right? We had push number one, first zone consolidation, push number two, second zone consolidation, and we're looking for that third and final push back to the top side, right? In these zones of consolidation, we didn't get no break of the lows, no break of the highs. Price is just testing highs and testing lows the entire time. Price gave us this gap at the bottom. We're looking for price to come down and fill this gap up, and this is where we'll start looking to take our entries to go back to the top side, right? So USDZR, we just gotta wait for it, man. Just a few pips. They fucked us up today. They were 27 pips away from the gap, and then they reversed it and went right back to the top side. But we're stuck in this 30-minute zone of consolidation as well. So just got to keep an eye on USDZR. Gold opened up with a gap today, right? And this is another trade that we kind of, well, not missed because price never gave us the entry. It missed it by 3 pips. twice. I was like, oh man, we missed it. It came back up. I'm like, yes, go, go. And nah, man, 18 pips was what, or 11 pips was the difference today. But this is the example, trading with the trend. Again, lower low, lower high, lower low, boom, lower high, at the lower high, gave us the engulfing candle, but didn't give us the retest. STP for the today was 399 pips. 399 pips from the high of the day to the bottom. Boom, right? 390, oh, 399, my bad. 399. Eh. As you guys can see, 100% of ADR in this, or STP. Again, this is the reason why we use STP and not ADR. Again, the STP is 478 pips minus 33% is STP. And if price would have given us the retest, this was this morning, man. I was sitting on here. I was waiting. I had everything set up, as you guys could see. This would have been the position. And everybody would have been on Twitter talking about, oh, this guy's fake. And then I would have had to take in a screenshot like we do every single time, post my screen, and be like, oh, this guy's a fucking wizard. Right? This would have been the position for the day if we would have gotten that retest. Right? And that's okay, man. That's okay. It's part of the game. Sometimes price isn't going to give you... Sometimes the market makers know, like, man, Lewis is getting on the charts. Let's give him that engulfing candle, but we're not gonna give him that retest. They're not gonna make that simple for me. They're not gonna do it like that. They know me. They're like, this guy is taking too much cash from us this year. Let's not give him that entry. So it's all good. We'll come back for you. Trust me. I will. I will get my revenge, gold. I will. Bitcoin doesn't close for another 30 minutes. We're trading at the higher highs again, the daily highs, as you guys can see, and then oil has just been consolidating for the last 3 days. Which is again good. I am looking for price for oil to go back down. Again, overall, we're in a downtrend for oil. We broke the zone of consolidation, lower low. We got into the lower high, and now we're looking for the lower low. Now, I was expecting a steeper pullback on oil, a little bit of a steeper pullback. So I don't know. Let's see if we could get it. But if not, then this is perfect, right? This is perfect. We just gotta wait for price to kind of just break the zone of consolidation, and then we'll go back down. So that was pretty much it, guys. Any questions, anything else you guys want me to go over, anything you guys want me to explain again, anything that didn't make any sense, let me know. If not, then we're pretty much done for the night. Tomorrow morning on our Discord, I'll make sure to post the link in the chat now so you guys can have it. In the morning, I'll wake up, look at the charts. If there's anything left for the day, then I'll let you guys know. If there's nothing left for the day, or there's any entries, then I'll let you guys know in the Discord, and we won't have the session tomorrow morning, and we'll just be back on Sunday for the weekly market breakdown. So hope to see you guys join the Discord. Make sure you guys join. Ask any questions in the chat. Again, everything is pretty much free what we do here, unless you guys want to pay for the membership, then you guys can. It's optional. The streams that we do on YouTube are free. We do the streams on YouTube on Sunday. We do the session on Monday. We do the session on Tuesday on YouTube. And then Wednesday, Thursday is on Wednesday, and then Thursday morning. Sorry, Wednesday both streams are on WAP. Thursday morning stream is on WAP, and then obviously the isolation session is here on YouTube like we did tonight, and then tomorrow's session is on YouTube as well. So it's a mix of both. If you guys, again, don't want to pay for the membership, you don't have to. Those are more for the people who want to do one-on-one sessions, stuff like that, more personal. You guys could do that. If not, then again, the Discord is free. Streams on YouTube are free. We do the exact same thing, so take advantage of that, guys. Hope you guys have a good rest of your night. Since no questions in the chat, then we'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Peace out.